ready to start. So I'm going to add, the way I'm going to start this is I'm going to start with a cylinder. Yeah. And I want to start with not many polygons. Don't start with high number of polygons or vertices. You start with a smaller amount, and then you always add on with the details later on. So I'm going to add a mesh, and I'm going to add a cylinder. And my cylinder will come down here, yeah, before you click anything else, otherwise this disappears. It says 32. Actually, I'm going to start with 24. I want 24 vertices, okay? So, yeah, so now I'm going to press S to scale, and I'm going to bring it down here and scale like that. I also want to turn on my X-ray, toggle X-ray on, and press G and put it there. Okay, I could scale down as well. G. Okay. So that's my beginning. That's where I'm going to start. Okay. Maybe I scale a little bit more. And actually, I'm going to scale down a little bit more. Press G and bring it down here. So now I'm going to go to my edit mode. I'm going to edit this object. So I have this, right? This is my beginning starting point. Edit mode, or press the tab key for edit mode. And I'm going to go for my face selection at the top there. Okay. So here you have vertex selection, edge selection, and face selection. So I can then select the face, top face. Okay. So if you can't see very well, this is what it is. So that also you can use 1, 2, 3 here from your keypad at the top here on the left. So 1, 2, 3, 1 vertex, 2 edges, 3 faces. Okay, I'm going to go back to my edit mode, pressing the tab key, and now I'm going to scale this. And now you have to be very careful, because there's many students do this. They end up scaling on it in, because you're looking at one in orthographic view, you end up using this and just, scaling in one direction. And then you realize later on, if you do this, that is not right. Okay. So let's say if I do this and then I select this and I keep doing, and that's what happens. It's not round. Okay. So go back to 1, scale. So I'm going to extrude. So I press E to extrude, or you come down here, extrude region. Okay. So this is where it is. So I'm going to extrude, press the plus button there and go up. Okay. Now, I'm going to extrude again. So I already pressed the button. It's already there, pressed, and just go a tiny bit. And now I'm going to press S to scale, and I want to scale in all directions. That means I have to go around this white circle here. I have to click on the circle, not on the axis. So now I scale 3. So if you want to double check, just back to perspective mode, and you can see that now you scaled in 3 directions. Okay, press 1 again, and then press E. I mean, you can press E. If you press E, you're not going to see that plus button. So it's just a shortcut. I'm going to come halfway through, and then my scale is already selected, so I can do this. Press E again. Don't try to go around in every detail. Just block out the shape. That's important that you block out the shape with the main areas. Okay. Press E again. I stop here. E. Scale again. And if you are pressing E, and in case you're going all over the place, like you press Z, yeah, to make sure that you only extruding in Z axis, which is the blue one. Okay. So, and then press E, and I'm going to do this. Don't worry, I'll add more detail in the middle later in a minute. Press E again, move it a little tiny bit, and then scale. Actually, I'm going to press G to move a little bit more. Yes. Now I press E again. Up to there. press E again. Remember, if you're not locked to Z, you need to press Z. I'm already locked to Z here. Okay, and I'm going to go up to there only. I'm not going to do this bit here because I'm going to put a sphere here, and then we're going to connect them together. Right, so what do we have here? Now I have the basic shape, and I need to create some round areas, yeah, and kind of smooth things out. So let's just get this shape. So here I'm going to add my loop cut. Come here, kind of loop cut. Yeah, so it can also be Control R, yeah, for the shortcut. And press scale again, and I'm going to bring it down here. Okay, don't add more yet. Don't need it. So now that for this bit here, I want to kind of create this little curve. So now I'm going to select my edges again, press Alt. And if you press Alt and select the edge there, you're going to select the entire edge loop, depending where you're clicking. If you click here, if you click on the top of this one, yeah, and then you select the edge loop that way on vertical. And if you click here on the top of this one, you get the horizontal edge loop. So I'm going to now bevel it. So I'll do a bevel like this. I can add an extra one in the middle, so you create a little shape there. So bevel is here. Okay, it's Control B. Alt again, and we're going to do the same one here. And I think I'm going to do 2. Okay. Right. Or maybe 1, 2. I'm going to do 2 now because I'm going to show you something else. Right. So let's go back, turn off this guy. X-ray, I mean. And we have our piece, bottom part of it. Right. So there are other things I want to do first. Now I'm going to come here on the top, and you see this this polygon here is called an n-gon. An n-gon, if I select all the vertices, is a lot of, it's a polygon which more than 4 vertices, right? And this is no good, depending what you're going to do. And I don't like n-gon, so we're going to delete this anyway. But here we're not going to add anything else because we're going to connect to the sphere that we're going to put on top. But if you look at the bottom, he also has an n-gon. Okay, so I'll go and select here, and then I'm going to also change that because I don't want I want to have quads. Ideally, I want always modeling with quads. Sometimes it's inevitable that you end up with a triangle, but we're always modeling in quads. Okay, quads means a polygon with 4 vertices. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to first going to inset. So inset is this one. Inset, or press I. So inset a little bit. You see it creates some polygons there. And now I'm actually going to delete this guy faces. I'm going to delete, but I don't want to leave it open. So I'm going to press my face selection here. So edge selection. Press Alt to select the entire edge loop. And there is something here. We're going to go to face grid fill. And the grid fill, what it does, it fills up this with quads. Okay. So you can change things here on the grid fill and see if yours didn't come out like this. Okay. But now I have quads everywhere. So that is something I want to do. Okay. Right. Okay. So now let's add a sphere now as a different object. So I went back to my object mode, and I'm going to add a mesh UV sphere. And I also want my UV sphere not with 32 vertices. I need 24 because I need to connect with the bottom part. So 24. For the rings, I can leave 16. Is not a problem because these are the horizontal. And let's go there. Click the X-ray, scale down proportionally. Don't forget, in all 3 axes. G to move. S for scale, and kind of get the right size here. I'm going to make it slightly bigger. There you go. So now what we need to do, we need to connect this sphere with the rest, with the body. Okay. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to edit mode in my sphere. Let me just hide this for a second. So press H to hide, or here you click this button. So inside, as I can see here, I'm going to cylinder. I'm going to put. I'm just going to call pawn. Okay, sphere. Just leave a sphere for now because we're going to connect to the other. So I'm going to hide the pawn and edit, and I'm going to select all these faces here. By clicking and holding, like with my box one. Yeah, so click and hold, because here you can't actually select the loop cut because they all come at triangles here. So just click and hold and then delete those faces. And I have a little hole in there, and I have 24 edges. How do I know I have 24 edges? Yeah. Now it's important that you come here and come here into this little arrow here and call statistics. Leave this on actually, because here you can see it gives you the details. So I select those that loop cut there, edge loop, and it gives me 24. I know I have 24. So leave that thing on. Okay. So it's in here, and then statistics. By default is off. Just turn on. Now, okay, so let's bring the pawn back. And now I need to connect this to this because they are two separate objects. I need to join them together in order to become one. So I'm going to select the head, select the body, and then Control J or click with the right mouse button, join. So join. So now they are the same object. Okay, so under the name pawn. Now I have a hole there. I need to connect the hole. So you go and press Alt to select those edges, Shift Alt and select the other ones. And then you go to Edge, Bridge, Edge Loops. And then they are now connected. Right. So let's have a look at something. Now I go to my Shade Smooth. So click right mouse button, Shade Smooth or Shade Auto Smooth. Auto Smooth, it does smooth out some of it keeps all the sharp ones sharp. Yeah, but I'm just going to do Shade Smooth for now. What I want to do now is it's not looking very good because I want to kind of sharpen some edges. I want to bevel some edges. This is not looking very good because we need more geometry here. Okay. So it's not rendering very well. So I'm going to start adding some bevel some edges, so it's not sharp edge. Also with the beveling, it gives a better render as well on the have the highlights on the corners, right? So I'm going to get my bevel Alt here, press Alt. I'm going to select those ones, these ones. Oh, sorry. Alt, Shift, Alt, this one. So I also want to add some beveling in this one. Okay, let's see. And then you go and do bevel. Just do a tiny bit. I just want to create a little edge there. So let's have a look. 2 will do. Okay. Yeah, that is nice. Okay, also I want where it's sharp here, I'm just going to add some loop cuts to make it sharper, yeah, like that. And look, so it doesn't try to smooth it out. Yeah, so if you add more details there, the same as this one here, I'm going to click and hold, actually click and hold in the middle here. And I think I'm not very happy with this, and I think it is too actually small here. I'm not happy with this junction here. So click here, back here, and I'm going to select all that loop cut of faces. So I press Alt, and now with the face selection, I select all of them, and I'm going to delete them. And also, I'm going to delete this one. Remember, if you select the wrong one, you need to kind of go on the top of the line and do that one. And then delete. And also, I'm going to delete those top ones. I'm just redoing now because I wasn't happy. So now I have that kind of... it's a little bit bigger. So with my edge selection, Alt, Shift, Alt, and then face. Oh, sorry, bridge edge loops. That is a lot better for me. I think I like more. So now I'm going to add some extra edges here. So I might do this in the middle, but not yet. Let's see. And I'm going to add one here at the end here. One edge loop on this side right there. Okay. Now, it's looking good and it's a little better. But I still want to smooth out a little bit more and then work on making some things sharper. But I'm going to add now a modifier, which I'm going to add in all of them. Subdivision surface. Now, you see on apply, and I'm going to level view 2. Yeah. And I added a subdivision surface, which is this modifier. So now if I'm going to go to edit mode, I can see there's something. I can't see very well all the things, but it's because it's moving. So you can tick this one out, tick this one, so you can see exactly what all your geometry there. And I'm going to do some more, add some more details here. I'm going to select those ones, and I'll make this one sharper by beveling. Sorry, yeah, there you go. A tiny bit. And maybe I make this one. So I actually like to work without turning off, just to make sure I'm doing the right thing. And then I turn on again and I check the results. See, by adding that bevel there, I made it a lot sharper here. So let me just go around. I also want this one here, press scale, and I want to scale a little bit more that one. Remember to scale in the 3 directions. Yeah, so. And then you can also slide. So the slide one is, there is something called here, slide edge. When you slide an edge, you move your faces around without actually changing the shape. So let me turn this off now. When you do that, so you see, it just follows the shape. So if you move, you might change the shape. When you slide, it just follows the shape and it doesn't change the shape. Okay. So far, let's have a look. I go back to my edit mode and I'm happy, right? So we have our first piece, the pawn. Okay, so I'm going to come here, and I'm going to create a collection. A collection in Blender is the same as is the equivalent of a group in any other software. So click here, collection, and I'm going to call chess pieces. And then I'm going to put my pawn inside. The other way you can do this, you can, with the right mouse button on the top of it, go here, move to collection. Which collection you want to move? Chess pieces. And it's there. Okay. Now it is there. So, right. Okay. So we have the pawn. Let's save the work. Don't forget to save as, and then you give a name. You know, I'm just having many versions here as recording the video. So there you go. I forgot something. Right. I forgot to change my pivot point. Let's have a look what I mean. So if I press G now, my pivot point, it is at the bottom here. Is it? It's not exactly at the bottom. You see, yours might be somewhere else. So I want to make sure that my pivot points for my piece is right at the bottom here. Okay. So let's just go to edit mode. And then I'm just going to select those 4 faces, for example, and I'm just going to Control plus to select that, just an area there at the bottom because I want it to be in the middle. So I'm going to go Shift S, and I'm going to bring my cursor, that little cursor, that cursor to selected. You see this little cursor there. In my other videos, I have other videos that show how this cursor work. We're going to use quite a lot in here, right? So it's there now. So I'm going to go back to my object mode, pressing my Tab key. And then you go Object, Set Origin to 3D Cursor. Now I know the origin of my object, which is the pivot point, is down there. Okay. So I'm happy with that. Shift S again, cursor to world origin. We're going to use a lot this cursor. It's very useful in Blender. Okay. So now we can go to the next one now that I'm happy with this. I forgot something. Right. I forgot to change my pivot point. Let's have a look what I mean. So if I press G now, my pivot point, it is at the bottom here. Is it? It's not exactly at the bottom. You see, yours might be somewhere else. So I want to make sure that my pivot points for my piece is right at the bottom here. Okay. So let's just go to edit mode. And then I'm just going to select those 4 faces, for example, and I'm just going to Control plus to select that, just an area there at the bottom because I want it to be in the middle. So I'm going to go Shift S, and I'm going to bring my cursor, that little cursor, that cursor to selected. You see this little cursor there. In my other videos, I have other videos that show how this cursor work. We're going to use quite a lot in here, right? So it's there now. So I'm going to go back to my object mode, pressing my Tab key. And then you go Object, Set Origin to 3D Cursor. Now I know the origin of my object, which is the pivot point, is down there. Okay.